In this section, we're going to cover how to review and set up the cleaning programs in the VC. Once we're signed into the VMS controller, also called the VC, we go to cleaning programs. Before we start here, we want to make sure that our pumps are configured for how we're set up with at least 2 pumps, generally 1 alkaline, 1 acid, and then there may be a 3rd pump set up for disinfectant or chlorine. In this column here, you need to set the concentration of each of those products based on what is on the label of the pail or barrel. Now we want to save any changes that you've made here. Anytime you make a change, you have to hit save. Now we look at the cleaning programs. I've got examples shown here of a system rinse, a local rinse, and then a local cleaning North American alkaline, a system cleaning EU alkaline. If we want to change these, we go to the template. And if I wanted this to be a local cleaning for EU alkaline or acid, I would click there and set that way. Each of these lines across represents, starting at the top, the first cycle of the cleaning. If there's just a rinse, all we're going to have is a rinse. Once we get into local or system cleanings, we start with a rinse, then we have our detergent phase, and then either an after rinse or a sanitizing cycle afterwards. If we take a look at the rinse, it starts the same. You can see there is a slight difference in what is shown here in the numbers, but that first number, 25, represents the amount of water that is used in the rinses. You'll notice if I close this again that for locals we're using 25 here, 30 liters there, 30 liters there, 25, 25, and 30. These are just predetermined amounts from the software. Normally you should not change the amount of volume of water that is listed. We do want to talk about temperatures. It says there's a start temperature and an end temperature for the rinse, but that is not actually the case, and this applies only to rinses. In the rinse cycle, start temperature actually means the high temperature limit, and end temperature means the low temperature limit. When we fill the wash trough, we start by turning on the hot water tap, and we're going to run that tap until the water gets close to 45 degrees C, and then we're going to turn on the cold water tap and we're going to run down until we get close to 35, and then we're going to switch back up to 45 with the hot, and so on and so forth. This start temperature and end temperature are what I discussed when I pointed to the hot and cold water taps inside the V300. So we're going to run the hot water tap until we get close to 45, and then the cold water tap until we get close to 35, and then switch back and forth. That'll give us an average temperature of about 41 degrees C. If we want a warmer rinse water or cooler rinse water, you can adjust these numbers for the start, i.e. high temp limit, up or down slightly. So I could move this up to 47 degrees, hit OK, and then save. And now it'll run between 47 and 35. You should not adjust the end, i.e. low temperature limit for the rinse. Leave that number alone. Make your adjustments only with the high limit. Do not set the temperature of the high temperature right next to the temperature of the end temperature or low limit. If you do that, the hot and cold water valves will cycle on and off repeatedly, trying to chase the temperature, and that repeated on-off cycles of the water taps will burn the valves out. When we look at our detergent cycles, it says we're going to use 45 liters in this area, and we're looking for a start temperature of 80 degrees C, and at the end of the wash, we want a temperature that is at least 60 degrees C. Now this is a local rinse, so there actually is no end temperature. When we look at the detergent cycle, the volumes listed in the top, we have the start temperature for that wash, and then the end temperature, 80 degrees C we're calling for a start temperature, and an end temperature of at least 60 degrees C. There's no circulation time noted here because this is a local cleaning. With a local cleaning, the cleaning product solution is prepared and used once and goes down the drain. So there is no recirculation that can be adjusted. It's all based on the volume that goes through. Down here at the bottom shows the type of detergent we're using, which is alkaline. The others can be chosen from this menu, and the concentration that we're going to use in this case is 0.62%, which will use up 341 milliliters of product during the cleaning. Then we look at our final rinse. This would be a North American style where we would use chlorine, 55 liters. It's going to be a cold sanitizing rinse. So the water temperature is 5 degrees C. No circulation time again because we're just pumping out through the 55 liters of solution through the robot. The product is chlorine. 62 is actually way too high for what we would use for chlorine. Number is going to be more like 21, and you can see that the amount dropped from over 300 down to 115 ml. We'll hit OK. And then remember, anytime you make changes in any of these boxes up here, you have to hit Save Changes at the bottom. We'll take a look at system cleaning. Let's choose European system cleaning. So our pre-rinse is the same as before, no changes there. Our circulation, now the volume's fixed here. We can't adjust that because it's set by the length of the pipeline that we showed earlier under device configuration. Start temperature is 80. We want it to be at least 45 at the end of the recirculation. Our circulation time is 6 minutes. We do not recommend that this number be changed. If this is shortened, then there's not enough contact time with soils that are built up in the system to remove them. If we lengthen this number and try to go longer, then what will happen is we'll lose temperature, and as our cleaning solution loses temperature, it also loses its ability to carry soil, and this will cause fats and proteins to drop out of suspension and stick back on the internal parts of the V300. So that is the detergent cycle. In this case, we have a rinse here at the end, the final rinse. Our volume's 30 liters. It's cold rinse. There's no circulation, and we're putting no product in there because it is just the final rinse. Just to point out to one other of 4-part cleaning. In this case, we have a pre-rinse that is just water, nothing's added. And then we go into an alkaline wash, a hot alkaline wash. And then we move to a cold acid cleaning. And then we go into a final rinse with just water. Once we've made any changes here, save the changes. Now, where are these cleaning programs called for? From there, we move to Delpro, and we're going to go to Devices, and we're going to open up our milk station and go to the Cleaning tab. Normally, it's going to open here in the General tab. We move to Cleaning, and this is where we choose the cleanings that we're going to have. In this case, this robot is going to clean at 4 a.m., at noon, and then again at 8 p.m. Those are 8 hours apart, and that corresponds to the 3-time-a-day cleaning that Dave Laval recommends for the V300. And the first 2 cleanings during that time period are going to be a number 4 system cleaning, alkaline chlorine in this case. And the third cleaning is going to be an acid chlorine. Now in Europe, you're generally not going to have chlorine, so we would switch to maybe an alkaline acid type cleaning for all three like this. Once we have made changes there, we have to go up here to the top and save those. Note this line right here, apply above settings to all milk stations, MSs. If you use this, and this farm had 3 other robots, and we want them all set the same, or at least pre-applied, we can click on this checkbox here, and then hit save. It's asking for a password. Enter the appropriate password. It's saying we've sent that to all other milk stations. It'll close it. Now we reopen again. We're going to go to cleaning. You can see our cleanings are set here. Now off to the right there is alternative actions. And this is generally used in areas where less acid cleanings are required or a different type of cleaning is required. So what we could do here, for example, is say that we did want to do a system cleaning alkaline every 3rd day starting on the 11th of November this year. Every 3rd day, instead of running this alkaline acid cleaning, it would run this number 5 cleaning instead of number 6 cleaning. This allows the cleanings to be customized to meet the water requirements of the farm and whatever specific challenges may exist due to the water supplies that are available from the municipality or that come out of the well. Moving down, clean while milk truck is here. If we want a cleaning to be started when the milk truck arrives, this generally isn't going to be a local cleaning. We're generally going to do the same type of cleaning that we run when a normal system cleaning takes place. So in this case, when the milk truck arrives at, say, 7 o'clock in the morning, that would take the place of maybe the noon cleaning. But that would depend on the number that is set down here, which is cancel scheduled cleaning if last cleaning of equal or higher priority has been done since 4 hours. So in the example I gave, if the milk truck comes at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and the next scheduled cleaning is at midday and it is within 4 hours, then this cleaning won't take place because the milk truck cleaning that took place here would have counted for this one. If this setting was 2 hours in length, then this cleaning will still occur. If this setting is bumped up to a higher number, 5 hours, then this midday cleaning will not take place. Floor cleaning is about cleaning the floor of the robots. That's outside the scope of this training. Action when stall is empty. In this case, if the robot stall is empty for 45 minutes, we would have a system rinse. That doesn't make sense. Maybe we just want to do a local rinse in the stall and set this to 30 minutes. So if a robot sits idle for 30 minutes, then it'll do a local rinse. If it sits for an hour and still doesn't milk, I might want to do a local cleaning. And that way, if it's a barn that has a small number of cows per robot, or a farm that uses pasture for a good part of the day for their animals, and there aren't any animals in the barn, we'll rinse out that robot and then do a cleaning so we don't have milk products sitting there for 6 or 8 hours all day long going bad. This section here, clean action after milking, what this does is it tells the system what to do after each type of milk is pumped. So with tank milk going to the tank, we don't usually want any type of cleaning. When we have waste milk, and that would be milk that is from a cow that has been treated with antibiotics, or that cow is sick with a fever or something else, mastitis maybe that's not being treated with antibiotics. In most areas around the world, some type of cleaning of the robot will have to take place. And in that case, we would set a local detergent rinse alkaline chlorine is just the example here. We can choose detergent rinse alkaline, which would be more common in Europe. Colostrum is just that, a cow that's been coded as being in colostrum. In many jurisdictions, a cleaning is also required after milking. So you'd choose this for a local cleaning. If the jurisdiction only required a local rinse, then we could do that as well. There are 2 colostrums listed to give the farm the ability to code or classify their colostrums just in 2 different ways. They're both colostrums, but you could, for example, have the first milking when the cow freshens as colostrum 1, and succeeding milkings over the next 48 hours could be colostrum 2, just to give the farm a way of recording those at the end of the freshening period. And then there is divert milk. Divert milk is a catch-all, divert 1 or divert 2. Generally, if it's good milk that's going to be diverted, for example, for feeding calves, then there's no need to run any type of local cleaning. If you wanted to code divert milk that had, say, a taste issue due to some different feed, being cows going out on pasture in the springtime and a lot of scallions or onion type things that are growing in the pasture, and you wanted to dump that milk and not put it in your tank, and you wanted to rinse things out, you could do that here. Rinse for diverting it, there's no need to do a system cleaning. Auto divert milk, that is when milk is diverted due to conductivity or the mastitis detection index, or MDI. This last one here, cleaning action after automatic diversion due to blood detection, is a requirement in the United States, where if there's blood, the robot will automatically do a number 3 afterwards. Once these settings are made here, as noted earlier, if the user would like, they can set that to all robots. So that is how we set up the cleanings inside the milk station. That chuff of air you heard in the background is the robot acknowledging that it has received those changes to the cleaning programs.